Good evening, sir. Man, welcome to Blockbuster.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm Demas. How can I help you today?
Did you say Demas?
That's correct. Well, it's Rick, but Rick Demas, but never mind. How can I help you, sir?
Okay, Demas. I'm looking for some lost action movies from the 1980s, please. Can you point me in the right direction?
Lost movies? I don't grab it, man. What's that mean?
Like forgotten action movies from the 1980s. Can you just point me in the direction of your 1980s action films?
Well, with all due respect, man, this is Blockbuster. If they're lost or forgotten, they're not going to be here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We do have a section, a Michael Bay section, an action section, my manager's picks.
Is that a fact?
That's correct.
All right, Demas, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck on out of here. I want you to have a great day and go fuck yourself.
Fantastic, then. Thank you. Have a Blockbuster night. Hey, man. Welcome to the Last Video Store. How can I help you?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I'm looking for lost action movies from the 1980s. Got anything like that?
Absolutely. Come on in.
When Mark Rose gets really excited, he screams, "Get to the chopper!" He secretly wants John McClane to be his Kevin Spacey, Garrick Lane. He still thinks Chuck Norris and him can be business partners. Lee Bridges.
One day he offed Ferris Bueller just to get to his sister Jeannie. Doug Wall! Welcome to the Tales from the Video Store! How we doing this evening?
Is that what we're going with? Okay.
You know what?
Just fine.
You could start doing this shit, because I have to do it every time, and I gotta get my balls busted every time I do it.
You don't have to do it every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've both volunteered. You just
Then
won't
do
let
it.
us.
Good.
You've already done it.
No,
It's done.
good. No, good.
It's fine. Maybe next week.
Great. So our first Tales of the Video Store, and you guys are already on my back.
Welcome to Tales from the Video Store.
That was fucking horrible.
That was my Mark Rose impersonation.
Let me see if I can do it again. Welcome to the Wait.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tales from the Video Store.
Garrick, I want you to do that the exact same way.
You know what?
But
You
100% less terrible.
If you step on my tag one more time, I'm gonna fire your fucking ass. I don't need you here.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I do. You pick all the movies. If you weren't here, we would be watching movies like Glass all the time. Okay, one more time then. Welcome to the Tales from the Video Store. I think I got a hernia. All right, we're ready.
All right.
All right, how's everyone's week? What movies we watched? What are we doing? Wait a minute. Before we get into that, I've got the Oscar results. Well, the Oscar nominations.
Okay.
You were say if you had the results, that would be really impressive.
You, my friend, were dead on. One of you guys, both of you said that it was going to be put into
Best Picture and Best
and
Foreign.
yes,
Yeah.
and I said no.
Which they can do.
Well, I know, but and I get it, and I have not seen it, so I still can't. I don't have a verdict.
A leg to stand on.
Oh,
either
I'm
way.
sure I'm going to love it because I love art films. And speaking of,
Oh, it's art.
we'll get into my start. I don't normally start my movies first, but I'll do it this week because I did watch You Were Never Really Here.
Okay.
And dead on. It was fantastic.
I thought you'd dig it.
It's very artsy, though. I don't think Lee will like it.
It's grimy enough. I think Lee would like it.
Joaquin Phoenix's character in it is just... It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Like I don't know, it's great. And his whole mother, the relationship with his mother, and then the I don't want to give away the movie. How it ends, like with the girl, like it was. And then that final scene, like when she goes and uses the bathroom,
I didn't know what was going to happen.
It was amazing, and the only regrets that I have is that we didn't do it on the show.
Yeah,
we should have done it on the show.
100%.
You have not seen it.
I have not seen it.
It is 100%. I bet you go, I liked it, but I'll never watch it again.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No. It's too artsy. He doesn't
It's
like
90
art.
minutes, dude. It's dirty enough. It's grimy enough. And the main character is so fucked up.
There's a lot of dead stares, though.
Right.
There's a lot of,
That movie got me hyped up to see him play the Joker. Watching him in that role, I was like, man, I cannot wait to see him play this Joker character.
I don't know about all that. We'll see. I do have one question, and maybe I missed this because I'm always distracted.
Okay.
Because my brain synapses are not probably as good as
They
yours.
don't fire.
No, they don't fire. But what was the one scene? Remember when he's standing on the bridge?
Yes.
What was the girl with the black eye? Was that just to signify like violence and just a violent world?
They never really came out and said what he had done before, but I'm pretty sure he was ex-military, and there was one little flashback scene where I thought he was wearing an FBI coat when they opened this locker and found all those girls in there, and one of them was the one that had that black eye when those girls asked him to take the picture, and he was just like...
Yes. And I think his dad abused his mom, and that's where all that came from.
100%.
And her head and the way she was all because he had beaten on her so badly. But there's that one scene where that woman is watching him, and he's getting ready to... Remember, he was on the bridge, and he's looking, and the subway's going by, and he was actually contemplating jumping out in front of the subway. And there was that one woman, she was looking behind the column, and she had a black eye. And I was trying to figure out why the director did that, besides to say that maybe, it's a violent world and...
Yeah, or maybe a ghost of somebody that he saved before, or something like that. I don't know.
It could have been that artsy.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Well, cool. Well, so I saw a whole bunch of other movies, but unfortunately, I took the kids to the Golden Ticket last night to watch Glass, and the movie was so god-awful that I actually, before the credits ended, I got up and left the theater. And I left my book notes and all my good stuff that I'd spent all week writing.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I needed to get out of there. That movie was god-awful.
And again,
hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Don't interrupt me.
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan has yet to make but one good movie. And that one good movie was Unbreakable. And the only reason this movie last night that I watched was even tolerable was because of the Unbreakable soundtrack that every now and then would come in and the glimpses of the Unbreakable movie that kind of interweaved. Like, I liked that it was his same son. It was all the same characters. It was great. But there was no point.
Right.
The comic book, like... There's no point. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was the same movie. He just, I don't know. He did it for a tax write-off.
Right.
What is it?
I don't know. I know originally that it was Unbreakable split and Glass originally was one script. Like the guy he fights at the end of Unbreakable, the guy who kidnapped the family, that was originally the Beast character. And but then it would have been like a 3-hour movie. So he ends up, just using basically turning the first act into the script for Unbreakable. And so, he's had this whole thing planned out since 2000. And it's, basically if you go into it wanting Unbreakable 2, you're going to be extremely disappointed. It's basically, there's a movie about Bruce Willis' character who, in this, is called the Overseer, which is not a great name. Then there's, the James McAvoy's character from Split, the Beast. And then this movie, basically, it's all about Samuel Jackson. He's been in charge of everything the entire trilogy.
Right.
If you see, I can't really talk about that much without spoiling it for.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to talk about.
Yeah,
it really is.
So it's like I didn't hate it as much as you did, but it's it's just weird.
I have yet to see it, and just based on what you guys have said, maybe I'll rent it, but there's no fucking way I'm going to.
He has never made a good movie. I called The Sixth Sense. I called The Sixth Sense
15 minutes into the movie.
Absolutely, knew exactly what was going on.
Wait a minute, he's fucking dead.
Yep, I see dead people. All Bruce Willis is dead. None of those movies. The Village, was it The Village? No, which was Signs. Signs had signs of being a good film.
See, I've never seen Signs. I've never seen all of The Sixth Sense. I've seen Unbreakable.
You have missed nothing.
The Village, parts of Lady in the Water, and Glass.
Unbreakable is his only good movie, and I've seen them all, and that's it.
It's by far and away my favorite.
Yeah,
not even close.
My kids pushed after watching it last night, none of them really liked it, but they just were. I guess they were kind of left hanging on because they hadn't seen the first two. Right. So I showed them they're out of school, so nothing's getting done. So I'm like, well, let's watch the first two, and they didn't make it through either one of them.
Because it was a very slow movie.
They're both very slow, but they didn't make it through, and they were just like, yeah. And River really did get up from the movie last night and was like, that was kind of boring, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like that. Like when I was checking my Twitter feed 15, 20 minutes into the movie,
right,
there was definitely an issue. It didn't help maybe that the morons behind me were talking and farting and Snapchatting and playing Mobamba in the middle of the theater like they're at home on their sofa. Yeah, that's right. If you guys are listening, go fuck yourself. Don't ever come back to the theater again and talk. If you want to talk, go to the bar.
That's true. Yeah, I 100% agree.
Listen to you assholes talk about your girlfriends and all your little hoops that you made at the YMCA. So do me a favor. The next time you want to come to the movies, wear your muzzles. Fucking assholes. Anyway, so, yeah. Wow, so where are we there? Yeah, so basically I wasted a whole night at the movie. It sucked. It was dismal. And I ran out without my notes, and I don't remember the other. Oh, I do. Ghost Ship. Terrible.
Ghost Ship.
From the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Why would you watch that movie?
Yeah, it's odd.
Because I wanted to watch some shitty movies.
Okay.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Gabriel Byrne, right?
Yeah.
Indiana? Okay.
I've seen like the first 5 minutes and I haven't seen anything
I
else.
watched Piranha. I watched
The original Joe Dante Piranha?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I loved. I
yeah.
thought it was great. And the way they used the sound for the piano, when the piranhas were coming, there was just like sounded like a vibrator.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really like that.
Not that I would know what a vibrator sounds
Come
like.
on. Be real. But yeah, no, that's Joe Dante's first movie. You can definitely see like the tone, like his movies, they're not scary, like Gremlins, even the Howling's the scariest movie. But they have this sort of weird, like almost, I don't want to say cartoony, but they're lighthearted horror movies.
Yes.
But even though a lot of people die in Piranha, like a lot,
Oh yeah.
But it's a very low budget Jaws ripoff, but it's by far the best one ever.
Oh, I agree. I loved it. And I watched another Corman special that was directed by Roger Corman, Francis Ford Coppola, and Jack Nicholson.
No, you didn't watch The Terror.
I did.
Oh, well, okay. Do you understand it?
I do.
Do you?
I
'Cause
did.
I don't.
I do.
You're the only one.
It was very contrived.
Yeah.
Like, it was very forced, but it was. The sets were fantastic.
What
Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Where do you see that? You're never going to see that.
That's
That's
true.
in that movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And they would just shoot that movie whenever they had like days free.
Yeah.
So like there's a character who's a deaf mute at the beginning, and at the end he just shows up and explains the plot, just starts talking. There's no reason for it.
But it's one of those B movies that's
Yeah.
fantastic. I loved it. I think I'm getting into this I really like Amazon Prime has a plethora of these great B movies that nobody's heard of that were just shot on backlots or in the desert in California, and they're horrible, and I can't stop watching them. And that one was one, man. Boris Karloff.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Jack Nicholson as a French soldier.
Yep.
Who doesn't say he doesn't even have a French accent. He's just like. Now listen, see, I'm going to come into this castle whether you like it or not. No. Okay. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. So, and then I had all these other great movies, but my notes are still in the seat at the Golden Ticket where I ran.
They're still watching Glass.
They're trying to give Glass another day in court. However, I am not gonna.
Right.
Nor am I going to give M. Night Shyamalan another day in court. This next movie, I will not watch. I've given him chance after chance to impress me, and he has not since Unbreakable. And I'm sorry, bud. I know how hard it is to make movies. I've made a couple of crappy movies. In fact, every one I've ever made is crappy. But you're getting paid to do it. You need to do something different. Your little spook tales are horrible. There, I've said my piece. Okay. I'm going home. You guys finish.
All right, cool deal.
Okay.
All right.
So what'd you watch, Doug?
So I wanted to watch some movies from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
I just happened upon one of my favorite violent gangstery movies, although it's a lot kind of like what we watched tonight, Shakedown, is Deep Cover.
Oh, yeah.
1992, Bill Duke directed.
Yep.
With Lawrence Fishburne and probably one of, if not my absolute favorite, Jeff Goldblum character in that is just fantastic. That's just, it's not a straight out violent movie,
right?
But when violence is presented, it is done in an awesome style.
It's a very cool movie.
Yeah, it's slick.
It may be on this podcast within a few months.
Yeah, it should be. It's slick. It's cool. It's fucking badass. The very beginning of it is just...
I think that's Bill Duke's best movie as a director.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We've all seen it, so we don't need to get into it.
Right.
Because it's 187 on an undercover cop,
yes.
and you don't stop. Because it's 187 on the undercover cop.
Give me some beatboxing. All right. That's enough of that.
That's it. Yeah, that's...
So,
guys are no fun.
then I wanted to go back and watch something before 1985.
Right.
An 80 to 85 movie, and I found Lone Wolf McQuade.
No doubt. No doubt.
And I thought, all right, Chuck fucking Norris, David Carradine.
There you go.
I'm going to give this one a day in court because I have not seen this movie since the 80s.
Right.
It is absolutely fucking perfect.
Oh, dude, it is.
It is a perfect 1980s action.
That's in my top 5 Chuck Norris movies.
Action movie, no doubt. Chuck Norris, of course, is a Texas Ranger. When is he not?
Yeah.
And David Carradine is a gun-running bad guy that has a martial arts background. He was a European champion.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and there's a great... He does this like... I guess it's an exhibition at this kind of like a fair kind of deal, which was just fucking great. There is a little person, bad guy named Falcone, rides around in an electric wheelchair, and just, you know, he's just like, I don't remember him saying really anything until the end of the movie. He's just like,
What about when they bury Chuck Norris underground in his truck?
They bury him in his fucking truck. And he drives out of it.
He launches the truck out of the ground
because he's got nitrous in this thing.
Yeah. I love it.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
It reminds me. It's like an anti James Bond movie, right? Because he, instead of being slick and cool, he's
kind of gross looking.
He's filthy all the time. He looks like he's been rolling around in dirt. He's always drinking beer. His truck is caked with fucking mud all the time. It's never seen water.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to me, this was the absolute formula of in the 1980s of making a perfect action movie. But the buried alive in his truck was the best. He's sitting in there drinking a beer, pouring it on his face, like trying to stay awake, and somehow he guns it out. That shit, you just can't make that up, man. It was great. And one of the, I guess I'm not sure if he was an ex-partner, LQ Jones.
Yeah.
Who's
in everything.
It's been in everything, but he was great in this role. It reminds me, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe Sam Elliot reminds me of LQ Jones. Their characters in these two movies are so similar to me. But you know, Carradine comes to his house. He kills his buddy. He shoots his fucking wolf, and you just know the shit's going to go down. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, of course, there's a fight scene at the end between Carradine and he, and it just quintessential fucking 80s.
The best thing I heard Norris say about that movie, they asked him about fighting David Carradine, and he said, David Carradine's about as good a martial artist as I am an actor.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. Which is true. I mean,
true.
It wasn't groundbreaking, any of the fights.
But it was cool to see the guy from Kung Fu fight Chuck Norris.
Sure.
I mean, you know.
And that's why I thought it was awesome. And my favorite part of the whole movie is at the very end. He's sitting there, his kind of ex-wife or estranged wife, and his daughter had been kidnapped, and he saved the day and got them back, and they're all packed up because they're going to move. And then his partner Ramos shows up, and he's like, we've got hostages downtown, and Chuck's like, fuck, hostages? Are you sure? sorry, hun, gives her a kiss and jumps in with Ramos, and they go after the bad guys. I just thought it was fucking killer.
Yeah.
I really, really...
Super fun movie.
Yeah, I didn't know how much I would enjoy it at this stage, and I really, really did.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to watch something that was kind of similar, but way different.
Yeah.
You know, like a singular badass coming to do something. I wanted to do something that was closer to the end of the 1990s. And I stumbled upon one of my favorite Steven Soderbergh movies, The Lining.
Oh, this is my favorite. That's my
You tell him I'm coming.
Oh, yeah.
You tell him that I'm fucking coming.
No, I was going to do that, but you... it's fine. Terrence Stamp is Wilson. Peter Fonda is Terry Valentine, who is the bad guy in this. Luis Guzman is his buddy. Leslie Ann Warren is also in this, and she's great.
You tell him I'm fucking coming.
I love this movie so fucking much. Like, every time I watch it, it gets better. The storytelling and the way that they used this old movie called Poor Cow, 1967 Poor Cow.
He also plays a character named Wilson.
Right.
Yeah.
To show his backstory as a thief. You know, he's recently gotten out of prison. I've just never seen that really done in anything else before or since.
Oh, yeah.
And it's perfectly fucking done.
Where's Jenny?
My favorite line in that movie is when he's talking to Leslie Ann Warren. And she's talking about, going to find Peter Fonda. She's like, you want me to give you his number? And he's like, I got his fucking number.
Oh, I've got his number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love Peter Fonda.
Yeah.
But I hate his fucking character in this movie so bad.
He's the uber douche.
He is a fucking bastard.
What did he say? He's coming. He's fucking coming.
Leslie, he's not really the bad guy.
What does that mean?
No, he's just a pussy.
Yeah.
He's just a rich cunt pussy that exploited the fucking 60s and got wealthy and turned into everything that he fucking hated when he was a kid. And he gets, I guess, basically what he's deserved at the end of the movie. But, he's just a soulless fucking pussy, really. But it's a great flick, man. I mean, it's not an out-and-out, like, full-on action movie like Lonewolf McQuade or Shakedown.
Yeah.
But
it's
when
definitely a revenge movie.
But and when there is action, it's fucking great.
Yeah. And when those three guys team up on him in the truck hangar, there's no question at all. He's older.
Yeah.
There was no question at all when you just hear. Remember, the steady cam starts moving towards the front, and you see one guy run out, and then he runs out.
He kind of gets up after they.
He says, "You tell him I'm coming."
After they've kicked his ass, he almost gets up, almost like a marionette.
Yeah,
he's almost like he's on strings.
Yeah,
and then he just grabs a gun from his back and goes in, and you just hear pop, 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 whoa, 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 and then you see a guy running, and he comes out, blood on his face, and screams that line. Yeah. So those are the three that I watched.
Nice.
And then the best, I think the best line in the movie, besides the one that I keep screaming, is the last one.
You tell him I'm coming. Tell him I'm fucking coming.
Oh, you do it better than me.
That's why I fucking had it, but you stole my fucking thunder.
Hey, that's our bathwater showdown. I'm gonna put two voiceovers.
Great.
We're gonna see who wins the Terrence Stamp. I'm the limey scream. What do you think?
I abstain.
But the best line, and I can't remember, he's playing the guitar, and somebody says, "That's great." And the last line right before it goes black, he goes, "I'm getting better, aren't I?"
Yeah.
It was great, because he was talking about himself.
And the soundtrack of this movie is fucking great. The use of
the Seeker
of songs,
Oh yeah,
and just the ambiance
piano,
music and all that. Yeah, it's fucking great. Dude.
Now some people will hate the way it's edited. There's some people that can watch it and go, "What is happening?"
But that's how I cut.
Yeah.
That's it's all over.
But to me, that's what makes this sets this movie apart from a lot of similar movies. There's nothing else like it, dude. It's to me, it's probably Soderbergh's best work.
That's Soderbergh. If you look at the Ocean's 11, not so much Ocean's 11, more than Ocean's 12 and 13 that were more done on the cuff. Some of the editing and the way he does things, it's real simple, but it's real raw and it's real. It works.
Yeah.
He got all that from that full frontal. It's great. Yeah. Steven Soderbergh's a mastermind.
Yeah.
Yep, The Limey. One of it's in my top 30 of all time, actually.
Oh, really?
I loved it.
Very
It
nice.
came
It's good,
along
man.
in my
It's-
life at a very good time, and
99.
Yep.
I thought it was a little older. I was surprised, but
Yeah.
99. Yeah. But it holds up, dude. It's as fucking badass today as it was back then, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
yep,
20
absolutely.
fucking years ago.
All right, cool. Well, that's it then. Good. Okay, great. Lee, if you had any movies, nobody gives a shit.
Fair enough. Why don't you
So
scream
that's
into the mic some more? People love that.
Go ahead.
I only really watched one. I watched Glass.
So anyway,
Talk about
dude,
that.
did you see the Patriots game?
God damn.
Why don't you let me do the jokes there?
Obviously, yeah. I'm failing. Sorry.
You done?
I am, sir.
Okay. And I watched one very weird movie called Cold Skin. Basically, it was the other fish fucking movie that came out last year. It's
The
about
one that didn't win Best
the one that
Picture?
didn't win Best Picture. Although this one does have more fish people being shot in the face.
Cold Skin.
Cold Skin. It's on Shudder.
Leave it to Lee to come up with all the cool stuff you and I have never heard of. I was good. I'm sorry not to interrupt, but Black
Again.
Sunday. I'm sorry, but Black Sunday was on my list, and I couldn't get my Shudder to work on my
Yeah.
son's Xbox.
Right.
And so,
Oh,
like,
the trailer for it is fucking amazing, dude. I can't wait to watch
All right, anyway, I'm sorry. Cold Skin.
Yeah, all right. So this guy, it's 1914. Guy, he takes a job as a weather, basically a weather observation guy at this island right at the edge of Antarctica. There's a weather observation post, and there's a lighthouse.
Okay.
Basically, and they shows up, and basically you're there for a year, and then someone comes and relieves you, and then someone comes and relieves them. He shows up. There's no weather observation guy. There's just the lighthouse guy, and the lighthouse is covered in like spikes and stuff and barbed wire. And the guy who runs the lighthouse has like this big hobo beard, and he's like, guy died. He got typhus. He's dead. And so like the boat captain who brings the guy there is like, man, you can't stay here. He's like, He's like, you have to come back with us. He's like, nope. He's like, I'm here. I want to get away from everything. And so they unload his like year's worth of food and all his equipment. And that night, basically, these fish people come out and attack the cabin he's in. And he barely survives. And he goes up to the lighthouse guy and basically tells him what happened. Basically, the guy brings him in. He's like, it happens every night. And that's what that guy does. The guy drinks all day, and then at night, the fish people attack the lighthouse. And over the course of the story, you realize he's basically captured one of the female ones, and is basically using it as his sex slave, the crazy lighthouse guy. And he's there for a whole year, so it's just like
This sounds awesome.
it's like a constant barrage of battles. And it was directed by a guy, like in the mid 2000s, when like movies like High Tension, those French horror movies were just huge.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys who was supposed to be like the next big thing. I can't remember his name, but he directed a movie called Frontiers that is just grisly. But
Sweet.
and
Is this grizzly? This Cold Skin?
it's not super gory, but then again, that's by my standards.
Does it have bestiality like
don't see
Shape of Water?
You don't
does?
see a huge amount, but you definitely get that there's some human on fish person sex going on.
What is from? The one that won Best Picture at
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
That's true. And basically, it's just like a tale of survival, and then it becomes like a weird love triangle between them, and it's a very strange. I don't know that I would want to watch it again, but it's very well done, but very odd.
All right, Cold Skin.
Yeah. And that was Glass. Those are only two new movies I watched this week.
Go.
All right.
And before we get into the movie real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out. I meant to do it at the beginning, but we got kind of sidetracked.
Garrick got a little scream.
It happens. But I was wanting to give a shout out actually to another podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
My boy Jason Fingers.
Jason and Mike, they're the hosts of the podcast.
The podcast in Lincolnton.
Lincoln, North Carolina. It's a pop culture podcast. They do movies, they do wrestling, a lot of old school wrestling. Movies, TV, just a lot of stuff like that.
Their main sponsor is the MWF, and when I used to work with Jason, I used to film their promos for their pay-per-views.
Awesome, yeah.
But so they've got a little small federation that's kind of their golden ticket, like we're the golden ticket cinema sponsor.
Yeah.
The MWF, but they're great, man. They're funny.
Yeah,
some of their stuff is fantastic.
You want a pop culture podcast? That's not ours is just movie based, but give a listen to the podcast with Jason and Mike.
Yeah, sometimes when they bring their friends on and they start talking about like the days when they were like doing keg stands and stuff. Like it's just funny, dude. I listen to it all the time when I on my way to Winston-Salem.
I saw they had a Weird People of Lincolnton episode.
Yeah, dude. Yes, I was hoping.
Yeah.
I tell you, man. I wish I had more time, or if we were making more money on this thing, I'd go down there and be like, "Hey, man, I'll film you guys. Do some. I want to see some of those guys." But yeah. You guys got to check it out. The podcast.
Yep.
They're on Facebook. They're everywhere we are.
Yep.
But, it's definitely pop culture, and
Yeah,
they're
give them a listen and a like.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yes,
Absolutely.
they've been sharing our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've been bad. See, it's funny, and I'll explain this. Like, I always want to share other people's stuff, but I feel like, and maybe this is a social media thing, I feel like too much is too much.
Right.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah, we don't want to overshare.
I don't want to post 3 things every day on the page,
Right.
and we've been posting. We got the bath water, and then now we've had all this stuff with the change of the show and everything. And I feel like I don't want to scare people off. So hey, Jason, I will start sharing your podcast.
Yeah.
Just give us a little time to, I guess, promote our change of venue.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Which is being really successful. We've got a lot of new listeners and everything. So
Yeah.
that's really awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like, we got, how many?
Oh.
We ended up with like 30 new likes just from
Yeah.
changing the brand.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the people that were.
It's a name. I think the name's more original. I think your design of the website's better. I think it's all going to be a lot more.
That's
much more
right,
positive.
correct. That's correct, people. Garrick does all that stuff. Please give me a call. glane@garricklane.com. I'll do your websites. I'll do your video. I'll do just about anything that doesn't involve knee pads. Okay.
And a few things that do.
Actually,
For sure.
and if,
A couple days in them.
and if the money's right, I'll even bring those. All right.
All right.
Tonight's movie has none other than my man crush, Sam Elliot.
There we go.
Don't eat the big white mint. Oh, however, this isn't Roadhouse. This is.
Although there's a character named Dalton in it.
It is.
There he
That's
is.
right. You're right.
That's
You
what
want to
it-
introduce the
I do
movie?
want to. It's from 1988. It's called Shakedown. It stars Peter Weller and Sam Elliott. I mean, it's a movie it's a very well-made movie, but it's not. When people talk about 80s action movies, this movie never gets mentioned. I saw it probably when I was like 12 on TV. And Peter Weller plays a character named Dalton, Roland Dalton, who's a public defender in New York City, and Sam Elliott is like his best friend, who's an undercover narcotics detective. And a police officer is shot in Central Park, and there's a disagreement between whether he was shot in a narcotic sting or whether he was shot while trying to rob a drug dealer. And that leads to this discovery of all these dirty cops and things, and who are colluding with this drug dealer played by Antonio Fargas. And it's basically what it is. It's the last old New York action movie. Like 5 years after this, Times Square had a Disney store, had 7,000 Starbucks, a bunch of shit nobody needs. This is like the last movie where, like, when they shot the scene in Central Park in the 42nd Street in the porno theater, like they had to have armed guards there to protect the actors. Because New York City was a completely different place.
Right.
And it's one of the first movies to deal with the crack epidemic. In a lot of ways, it's almost a pre-90s action movie.
Yes.
Because a lot of our 80s action movies deal with things like Eastern European terrorists and things like that. This is just, it deals with like police corruption and crack cocaine.
Yep.
And so in a lot of ways, it sort of prefigures 90s action.
And it's amazing. Just a footnote is what's crazy and creepy is and it's kind of really creepy is in the climax. I don't want to give too much away, but Sam Elliott's this crazy daredevil cop.
Yeah.
He's hanging on a jet plane's wheel, firing at an engine, and this jet is literally flying towards the Twin Towers, which are actually in the film.
Yeah.
Whereas this was way pre.
Yep.
9/11.
Yeah.
So it's very it's crazy. They cut back and forth, and this jet's like getting close to the Twin Towers.
Yep.
So it's like you're right, pre.
Oh, yeah, this is
pre New York. This
Yep.
is back when New York was-
Giuliani, pre-everything.
Yep. Anyway, go ahead.
And it was
I'm sorry.
directed by James Glickenhaus, who has a very weird career. He was unlike a lot of low budget filmmakers. Like Peter Jackson grew up on a small island, on the coast of New Zealand. Like Sam Raimi grew up in Detroit. James Glickenhaus came from a very wealthy family. The Glickenhaus family has been financial advisors on Wall Street since Wall Street was founded. And what he did was instead of going to film school, he just went to work for his dad trading stocks, raised the money to make a movie. made that movie, and then would take that money, go back, invest in more stocks. So every movie he had made that had a bigger budget. So basically, this movie was completely independently funded.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. And
God, that was a lot of money too back then.
It was.
Some of the stunts in this movie.
And because he would always like take the money, invest it in big companies, then take that money and make another movie. Like the movie he made before this was The Protector, was the first big movie he tried to break Jackie Chan in America. Didn't work because it's not a particularly great movie, but he was a very interesting guy. About 5 years after this movie came out, he just went and gave it up and went back to work on Wall Street. You know,
he wrote this.
Yeah, he wrote this. Wrote and directed it, and he just, like basically the type of movies he wanted to make, the type of movies we're going to talk about for the next 3 weeks, just ceased to exist in the 90s. And so he was like, he didn't, I don't think he was the type of guy who wanted to make blockbusters. Like he would never want to make the Avengers. He likes, scummy action movies. And so now he actually designs like 300-mile-an-hour supercars. Like he makes a car now that goes 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. Because he has just unlimited money.
Sure.
Yeah,
Unlimited money. It doesn't want to make action movies with Sam Elliot jumping out of a porn theater.
But I will say, this movie, the stunts in this movie are awesome.
It's insane.
The guy who's the stunt coordinator is now the stunt coordinator for all the Fast and Furious movies. And it's 90 minutes. It's very quick. It does not have a great deal to do with reality because Sam Elliott and Peter Weller are just driving through New York City on a motorcycle, just firing guns
on a
giant trike.
Yes.
And but if you like 80s action movies, I cannot recommend this movie highly enough.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, even the final scene, you're almost like, it's ridiculous, but you're in for the ride now, and it's okay. You know, we all like kind of busted out laughing, but it's still it's Sam Elliott, and it's right. Yeah,
There's nothing in the movie that is like outside of the tone of the movie. There's nothing that you're like, come on, like everything seems right.
Yeah, yes. I had no doubt that Sam Elliott could do every single thing that he did.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah,
Peter Weller was great.
He was.
And I liked the little the side story with him. With his girl problem. That was a nice little dimension.
There's a lot more drama in it. A lot of
that's what I'm saying. There was some tones there.
Yeah, it's really more of like a crime thriller that has just ridiculous action scenes in it.
Yeah.
And then the road cop, that looked like Macho Man Randy Savage when he ate it. I think that they could have built him a little bit more.
He is. Yeah,
I think he just kind of shows up to be the scum. They never really show backstory.
But you get his evil mullet. You know he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's got the evil mullet. Yeah, it was good though. We definitely recommend Shakedown with Sam Elliott, Peter Weller.
There's actually like 2 months ago there was a really nice Blu-ray released by Shout Factory.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me, like you say, it's like the last 80s action movie.
Right.
It looks 80s. You have no doubt when it is. And then just within a couple of years of this, a movie like New Jack City comes out.
Right.
And it paints New York in a completely different light.
Yeah.
But it's still about crack. It's still about pieces of shit. It's still about drug dealers. It's still about scummy cops and all that. So they're parallels, but they're also completely different.
And I will say this came out the same year as Die Hard. And it came out like a year or two later, it would have been a completely different movie because Die Hard changed everything.
Changed everything.
And this is like, I guess you say it's the last pre-Die Hard action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh yeah,
it was cool.
very.
Not like Sam Peckinpah's early '70s movies, The Warriors, Vanishing Point.
Right.
Going back to the '70s, like as the action movie, the evolution of the action film, and where it came from.
When you watch action movies in the '70s, they're really not that much action in them.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Besides Enter the Dragon, even Enter the Dragon doesn't have but a couple of.
Right, that's true.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
The Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter is classified all over the internet as an action film, but I would say that it's a 3.5-hour drama.
It's a war drama.
There's 30 minutes of action in that.
Sajay Mao!
Really?
Yeah.
Mao!
Yeah.
Mao! Oh. Sajay Mao!
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a great film. Right. And they don't even like they go to Vietnam, they only show one scene.
Yeah.
Where
it's about
John
the
Savage. Yeah. I mean, but the way they do it is great.
Yeah.
Death Wish, Charles Bronson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, love Death Wish.
The original.
Yeah.
We're not
Taxi Driver, drama.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
You could classify it as an action movie because of the final scene.
Right.
Final 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Maybe not even 30.
Yeah.
Towering Inferno.
Yeah, well, that's more of a disaster movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, see,
Disaster movies are huge in the 70s.
here's the problem. In the 70s, I was 4 years old. 74 was the year I was born, so I'm already halfway through. And unfortunately, I think the 70s is an era that I haven't gotten into lost action films. Like the movies that you may know about. It's funny because I looked, Prime Cut is on the list, and Prime Cut we just watched. Yeah. You know, now Get Carter. Yeah, it's fantastic. Michael Caine. Oh yeah, I mean, but that's mainstream, or was 70s even mainstream?
See, that's the thing. I was reading an interview with Paul Schrader.
Yes, hardcore.
Hardcore,
a taxi driver writer. Yeah, yes, hardcore is one of my favorites.
He said it's not that the movies were better in the 70s. It's not that the directors were better. He said it's the audiences were better. He said you could put out a movie like Taxi Driver on 1,000 screens and people would go see it. He said now the audience doesn't care about stuff like that. Right. You know, like he just got nominated for his first Oscar for writing the other day, and you know he's like, I couldn't care less because he's Paul Schrader.
What did he write?
This movie called First Reformed, I think.
It's on the Oscar list?
I think so.
Really? I love him, man. Yeah. He's done some good ones.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the first movie he directed?
American Gigolo.
No. The first movie he directed was Blue Collar. It's got Richard Pryor, Harvey Keitel, and Yaphet Kotto in it.
Oh, you're right. First Reformed. I'll be dang.
Yep. The first time he's been ever nominated for an Oscar. How weird is that?
He's like 80 years old.
Yeah, he is.
But he might bring it home then.
Yeah,
they might throw.
He's written some. He wrote one, and now I just completely forgot what it was. What was his last good one that he wrote and directed? It was a real. I'll look that up. I'll get back to that. But go ahead, explain.
But yeah, I mean, what he basically was saying was just it's the audiences that are terrible now, not the movies.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's like, if people were willing to sit through good movies, there would be good movies. He's like people talk about this. Why do people keep making remakes? Because people keep going to see them. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Paul Schrader's stuff is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Taxi Driver, Raging
Bull. You know. A movie we'll probably be watching here too long, Rolling Thunder. One of my favorite revenge movies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I forgot all about that. See?
Yep.
See? Yep, he's done all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
All right, well, what else we got? 70s movies. You guys, I have Straw Dogs.
Right.
Like one of the best.
That is such an uncomfortable movie.
I mean, Sam Peckinpah, it's hilarious. I'll always remember the funniest quote he ever said was, I made a movie. He said, I made a movie where nobody got shot. Yeah. And nobody came to see it.
Junior Bonner. Yeah, it's about rodeos.
He said that nobody came to watch it.
Pretty much what he's saying. Like, he made a movie where nobody got killed. Nobody watched it.
Yeah, nobody wanted to see it.
Yeah, and because there's a really good book about him called If They Move, Kill Them.
Yeah.
Which is what is said when his director card pops up in the Wild Bunch. And he was just a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
You know, super interesting guy.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah.
And his latest, so he was bigger in the 60s. The Wild Bunch was 1969.
Yeah.
But then he did do Pat Garrett and Straw Dogs.
Yep.
And The Getaway, the original Getaway.
Oh,
yeah. And that was, all those, I like those.
After Pat Garrett, it goes downhill very quickly.
The Convoy?
He did Convoy with he did the best movie ever based on a novelty song, I guess.
I know what movie. I'm sorry to go back. Affliction.
Nick
Nolte.
Yeah.
Affliction.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
What James Coburn.
James Coburn got the best actor, best supporting actor. God, he was a bastard. Yeah. He was a total bastard.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good. I forgot all about that movie. Well, I have to rewatch that one.
Yeah. Got to revisit Affliction.
Yes. At some point. Paul Schrader for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, so there you go, Shakedown, 70s movies. All right, well, that's a short show then, guys, if you don't have anything else to say.
I don't have anything about the 70s.
Yeah.
No? We'll wait for the 80s?
Well, the fact is, the 70s movies that you've talked about or Lee's talked about, they're all hyped up 70s movies that everybody pretty much knows. I don't have any gems. You know, they're kind of hard to find, really. The hard-to-find gems of the 70s are now like, oh, man, this is the cool-ass movie of the 70s.
Right.
So, I don't really have much on that.
Right.
I do have several 80s and 90s movies that I would categorize as, action movies that are kind of like Deep Cover. You know, they're kind of under the mainstream, but they're still badass movies. But we'll get into them next.
I'm going to try to make it a mission, and I don't know how this is going to work because I'm so limited to watching movies. But I really am going to make my mission to watch a couple of these. I heard this. And I'm talking about the Oscars. I have the Oscar ballot back in front of me. Like the favorite, I would definitely want to see, and then Roma. Want to see A Star Is Born. I want to see Vice. I don't know about the Green Book. Was that something that's not your kind of movie?
I'm not going to watch any of those movies. It's not the ones I've already seen.
Okay, great. Vice looks interesting.
Vice looks interesting, but I mean, you know.
But outside of it, I don't.
I mean, the Oscars, here's the thing. It was, you know what the Oscars was started for? It was a dinner party so that all the studio heads could come up and tell all the actors and technical people they didn't need to be in unions.
Yeah.
It was to break the unions. And then at the end, they would give them all awards.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good job. By the way, you don't need to be in the Actors Guild.
Yeah, you're fine.
You know, so, I mean, it's, people act like it's this great thing.
It doesn't mean shit to me.
It doesn't mean shit. Yeah. As Jerry Seinfeld once said, it's a bunch of rich assholes who dress up like the senators from Krypton at the beginning of Superman and walk down a carpet, and they get paid and they get an award for pretending.
Yeah,
it's like it's not
pretty much. Yeah, it's not the end all be all for sure.
No, it's definitely not that. Okay, then. Well, I won't watch any of them, and we'll just, we'll just wing it.
Just go watch Roma.
Yeah, I will definitely watch Roma because I can do that from my sofa. I don't have to go out.
You don't have to go anywhere. You can just Netflix it and tell me how wrong I am about it.
Okay, I may do that. It may be my next Phantom Thread. I'll be like, do you want to talk about Roma? No, we already talked about Roma.
Well, but I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about it.
Welcome to Lee's Pick-a-Flick Video Store, where all his recommendations will cost you money or you won't be able to find the video, period.
Anyway, I actually went this week with the first movie directed by James Glickenhaus.
Okay.
The director of Shakedown's first movie. Actually, it's not his. He directed a horror movie in the 70s that you cannot. I don't think you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's called The Astrologer. Sometimes it's called Death Cult. And but anyway, but his 1980 he directed a movie called The Exterminator.
Okay.
A revenge movie, and it's not the most violent movie in the world, but talk about movies. We referenced a movie we watched earlier when we were watching Shakedown, Vice Squad. Just that 80s scumminess.
Yeah.
Everything in Exterminator is soaked in it. And you can tell it's not nearly as well directed as Shakedown, but it's so scummy.
It's called The Exterminator?
The Exterminator. It's got a guy with a flamethrower on the cover.
Yes!
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yes! I saw that at Stamey's.
Tonight.
Yeah.
In
the movie,
towards the beginning, when Sam Elliott's coming out of that movie theater with Peter Weller, behind them
said The Exterminator.
Yep.
Okay. And the movie he was watching was his second movie called The Soldier.
Yeah, it was the guy skiing.
Yeah, that was from The Soldier.
Yeah, okay.
But The Exterminator is about a guy played by Robert Ginty, Vietnam vet. Him and his best friend, they both survived Vietnam. Cut to 10 years later, it's early 80s, and his best friend is attacked by a street gang and is basically paralyzed from the waist down. And so, since this, his best friend had wife and 3 kids, to support them and also to get revenge, he starts murdering criminals and robbing them.
Cool.
And as he works his way up the criminal food chain, he gets to mobsters, corrupt politicians, things like that. When he kills the mob boss, he doesn't just shoot him. He lowers him slowly into an industrial-sized meat grinder and turns him into hamburger meat.
Nice.
And when he finds the corrupt senator, he isn't just at a whorehouse. He's at a whorehouse that has little kids.
Ooh.
And when the exterminator finds him, he doesn't just shoot him. He ties him to a bed and sets him on fire.
Nice.
And it's just very, very scummy and early 80s. Like how New York looked kind of terrible in 1988.
Yeah.
1980, it looked like downtown Beirut.
Yeah.
Like it was just... And this movie is... It's almost a hate crime. It's like, when you watch it, you're like, should I be watching this? You're like...
Soaked in it.
Exactly. You're
okay.
Like, you always lock the door when you watch it. Like, I don't think people should know I watched this movie.
Good.
Yeah, The Exterminator, though. Yeah.
Cool. All right, that sounds great.
It's time for Garrick's Bathwater Showdown. Drinky, drinky.
Still on my Tim Burton kick. I actually watched Edward Scissorhands, and I had was doing some research on Tim Burton because some getting into other, I'm like drawing a little bit more, so I'm not gonna bore anybody. But anyway, so I ended up I found one of his first animations, Stalk of the Celery Monster. It was the first one he did at Disney.
Huh. I've never
It's
heard
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tim, man, if you're listening to the podcast, you should make that one like you did Frank and Weenie. It's pretty cool. But anyway, that led me to Edward Scissorhands, which again led me to my Winona.
Fucking hell. How many times has she been on?
I don't know. As many times as I want. Until somebody else does this podcast or somebody pays me not to do it.
How much will you take?
How much you got? So the Bathwater Showdown this week is the same girl. We're going to do Winona Ryder from Edward Scissorhands against Winona Ryder from Beetlejuice.
You're trying to get the least amount of votes. You just want to see what you can put up there that will absolutely get the least amount of attention. It's fun.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Pam Grier won last week by a landslide.
Yeah, of course she did. The
But
70s
Markov
Pam-
is fine.
Oh, she's a very attractive woman. The 70s Pam Grier is what is up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, when you look up the definition of the phrase built like a brick shithouse, there's a picture of Pam Grier right there.
That's right.
Circa 1974.
That's right.
Well, you know, my other option was we were talking about Sam Peckinpah movies. Where I was going to do Ally McGraw against Kim Basinger from the god awful remake.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I mean, I'd probably vote Ally McGraw, but how do you beat Kim Basinger, especially when she gets naked? How do you?
That's a tough.
That's 90s Kim Basinger, too.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. You want to do it?
Well, I just don't see what the fucking point of that is.
And plus, Winona's like 13 in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's Purse the lips, sink ships, buddy.
All right, so there you go. A first ever. We're swapping it up. Swapping it up. The Bathwater Showdown is Ally McGraw from the 1970s, The Getaway with Steve McQueen, directed by Sam Peckinpah, versus the remake Getaway when Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger were married. I don't know who did it.
It was Walter Hill who wrote the original.
Oh, Walter Hill directed it.
He directed the remake, but he wrote the original.
There you go. So we're doing the
Walter Hill
Getaway
was sort of-
Girls.
Is a Peckinpah's protege.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it might be a landslide unless we can get some of the older crowd, some of the 40s and 50 guys that watched the first Getaway, because Ally McGraw was definitely beautiful back in the day.
Yeah.
And I think she might be even a little bit more badassy than Kim Basinger.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. There you go. There's the Bathwater Challenge straight from the 70s in a remake. Kim Basinger versus Ally McGraw in the Getaway movies. All right, I got some cool announcements. We should have called you, but I don't know if you're not so dug in like a tick on the movie scene. But Lee and I bought tickets to go see Joe Bob Briggs in Charlotte.
Go.
Talking about rednecks taking over Hollywood.
Yep.
It's going to be great. When is that, March?
It is April
20th.
April
20th. Saturday, April 20th. Joe Bob Briggs is coming to Charlotte.
Yep.
And he's going to talk about how rednecks took over Hollywood.
That's
Not real
it.
sure what it's even about. You think it's a stand-up or is it
I think it's more just not stand-up, but like,
a workshop?
not like a. I guess just him just giving like a talk. basically.
Q&A?
Yeah,
We can
Q&A.
ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to wash my hair and rewind some video cassettes anyway that day, so you guys are cleared on that.
And then we got the
Don't feel
Mad
bad.
Monster Party.
We weren't really inviting you, Doug.
Well, I'm not really accepting it.
February 22nd to the 24th at Mad Monster Party. I've already talked about this a couple times. Go to Facebook and look up Mad Monster Party 2019 in Charlotte. Or you can go to madmonster.com and check it all out. Go see some movies at the Golden Ticket. $5 movies all week. And all the drive-in theaters are all still closed because it's minus 15 degrees out. Go Patriots in the Super Bowl. I'll be there.
No, fuck them.
Really? You're going to really pull for the Los Angeles Rams?
Fucking A right, I'd pull for Satan against those cocksuckers.
I think Satan actually owns like a small part of the Rams.
Fine, good.
All right, well, so there you go. That is the Tales from the Video Store this week.
First episode.
For our first episode, it is number 18, but it's our first episode of Tales from the video something. What is it?
Does it matter at this
It
point?
doesn't matter because everybody's turned the podcast off by now anyway.
Thank you to our sponsors, Table Rock Creative, for all your video marketing needs. TableRockCreative.com and Golden Ticket Cinemas.